What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the defense. This is the winners bracket semifinals matchup. We are finally into the last stages of the defense. I'm really excited to bring you this matchup between CLG on the Dire Squad versus Mouse on the Sentinel. And with me, as always, will be Shred Kid. What's up, man?
Not much. I'm doing good. I'm really excited to watch these two teams play. Both of them have been on a hot streak. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah, sure. But first, I think we should unpause because this is quite a long game. So, 3, 2, 1, unpause. Yeah, just to give you some background information. Well, for CLG, Misery took a bit of a vacation slash a break, but even then, they've been performing reasonably well. They've been 9-1 before this matchup, and they have been beating very, very good teams. The only team they lost to was Quantic in the defense, and I think Misery was still out during that time. But since Misery's come back, they've beaten a very, very, very strong teams in the form of Zenith, WE, and a lot of other strong teams. So I'm really excited. Meanwhile, Mouse has been 7-3. They've been losing to some very, very strong teams themselves, so they are definitely not to be underestimated. As we have the pick and ban phase going on, Lycanthrope and Darkseer are the first two bans, as Counterlogic Gaming working towards their second ban. So just based on the playstyle of Mouse, who do you think Counterlogic Gaming should ban in order to sort of get under the skin of Mouse?
Well, most people who follow Mouse like to see them play their Shadow Demon. 1437 has an awesome Shadow Demon. He combines it well with Sing Sing a lot of the time. They'll do a Kunkka Shadow Demon lane. They do it all the time. They're very well known for it. And I think that Shadow Demon could be an appropriate ban from CLG.
Yeah, definitely. As they're thinking long and hard, they still have a couple heroes still left in the hero pool. There's still Chen, there's still Firan. Of course, these heroes have not been seeing as much attention as Lycanthrope, Darkseer, and Naga. And it's always really, really exciting for me, at least, to see heroes like Naga and Templar Assassin, who are very, very popular in the Chinese Dota 1 scene and Southeast Asian Dota 1 scene. And keep in mind, the Europeans did not start picking them up before they started switching to Dota 2. But now, since they've been introduced, they are seen quite frequently. But Enigma is the final ban or ban against Come With Me. So that leaves a lot of heroes left in the hero pool. So Mouse, they have to contend with some very, very strong opening pickups, but they do have two first picks of their own to follow it up.
I think we might see a pushing opening. A lot of really strong pushers are left in the pool, like Broodmother, Furion are both in the pool, Chen's in the pool, Enchantress is in the pool.
Yeah,
It's
there's
very
just so
likely that we
many.
could see the team with the second pick and getting the two picks get two pushers immediately and try to go off of that.
That could definitely be the case. Of course, CLG, they are known for running Venomancer, so we might see a Venomancer in their stead. But still, there's a lot of heroes still left. Just as a sort of respect against CLG, we might see maybe a Windrunner or a Broodmother, unless Mouse wants to pick it up for Sexy Bambo himself, because Sexy Bambo loves playing that Broodmother. But still, Mouse is thinking long and hard. They know CLG's been on a tear, and they decide to ban the Enchantress, as it looks like CLG decides to pick up the Nature's Prophet right off the bat. And who do you think Mouse should follow it up with as they pick up the Broodmother?
Well, not a lot of time for speculation there. It looks like Bambo is going to be on his Broodmother. And Chen, yup, there we do it. We see two instantly picked pushing heroes right off the bat because so many of them were left in the pool. It looks like CLG has the response of going for team fight now because as it stands right now, Mouse has none. So they can have the option of having split push with Prophet and two team pushers, or they can go for even more team push. They also have the option of going for gank because Chen and Broodmother aren't amazing gankers, and it looks like they might do that. Yeah, we see the Leshrac Sand King pick up. Probably going to be laning together, but maybe not. Leshrac could be mid. Either way, we see a very strong team fighting and very strong ganking potential that Mouse right now doesn't have.
And of course, all these heroes, Sand King, of course, being a very, very strong hero versus Broodmother, also versus Chen, Leshrac providing that instant push, Nature's Prophet just split pushing all over the map. But they do have to be careful because Sexy Rambo is one of those Broodmother players who does not really fade away when it comes to the late game. I know 715 and Loomis often said in last year in Dota 1, where it certainly has traded out a bit, but Broodmother sort of lost a lot of her effectiveness after the 40-man mark as support started picking up Ghost Scepters, Force Staffs to keep them alive. But Bambo's Beast Broodmother is a completely different beast, keep that in mind. But yeah, still Shadow Demon is still left in the pool, so if Mouse wants to pick up another support, Shadow Demon is still left for them, but they might want to go for a strong mid-game lineup because a strong mid-game push as they do pick up the Shadow Demon, so a very strong support. But right now they have to be careful of a lot of burst damage coming from the side of CLG.
We very well may see a Kunkka ban coming out from CLJ simply because Mouse is so well known for running that lane, and it's a really devastating lane when you put it as a dual lane mid. No solo hero in the game can really stand against it. Even someone like a Queen of Pain just runs away from it. Instead, they're going to opt to ban looks like Brewmaster. I guess they're scared of him interrupting the SK ult, or maybe they're just trying to maintain their teamfight superiority.
Yeah, maybe they know that, okay, we have strong team fight, Panda can just screw everything up because that's what Panda does. But yeah, Mouz, of course, known into the DreamHack Summer Division, or sorry, the Star Ladder LAN tournament where they made it to the finals. Mouz is known for running predictable lineups, as was mentioned by Puppy when Sing Sing mentioned it on the stream. So Mouz, of course, needs to start switching things up. So we'll see if they decide to go for some atypical picks, or we'll see if they decide to go for the Kunkka instead. They decide to ban out the Chaos Knight, who has been receiving a lot less more attention recently, so it makes a lot of sense. Chaos Knight has not been winning too many games, as Morphling is the final ban for CLG.
And that's very interesting. It looks like they're scared of losing in the late game with the Morphling and Broodmother split push combo. It's so hard to get your team fights off effectively when you have two heroes split pushing both sides of the map. And it looks like that's what they're the most scared of. And also, they might not go for a very hard carry, more of a mid-game pushing lineup, or a team fighting lineup, that is. And with Morphling out of the pool, they don't have to be scared of it going too late.
Looks like Mouse fears somewhat of a similar thing. They decide to ban out the Lone Druid, of course, a very strong split pusher in his own right. And once he picks up that range, you just go for those towers, and they fall very, very quickly. But now CLG has to think long and hard. Do we go for more teamfight? Do we go for some laning support to help solidify our lanes? Do we go for some late game just to give us some backup plan against 60 Bamboos of Grandmother, which could be quite a problem? CLG, of course, has a lot of options. There's still a couple heroes left in the pool. TA, of course, but still, she's not really that effective against these type of heroes that Mouse is running. Well, she's reasonably effective against Chen, but still, it looks like CLG thinking quite a bit on how they want to approach this last two picks. What do you think CLG should go for?
Well, so what CLG did with their opening picks is make it incredibly flexible. They can lane it right now any way they want. Prophet can jungle, or even go hard lane solo, or side lane solo even. Leshrac can mid, or they can do a dual lane with SK Lesh. They can send out aggressive or defensive. They can pick up a jungler, a mid, a farmer, a hard support, anything. So right now, I have no idea what they're going to do, simply because their first three picks are basically as flexible as it gets.
And this is true, and if you want to go even more flexible, hey, Windrunner's still in the pool, that ginger bitch. She's in every game, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Windrunner being picked up, as Axe is the pickup by CLG. My god, this is gonna be fun. We saw Axe a bit. If you watch my channel, you see Axe time to time in Southeast Asian Dota 1 matches where he solos some mid lane, but I think Axe will have a much different purpose. He fares quite well against massive pushing spiderlings and the Chen creeps. But yeah, Axe, how do you think CLG will decide to lane in now with Axe? He's not really... He can jungle, but...
Okay, I see two options off of this. I really think it's most likely that Axe is going to go into the forest, and Leshrac's going to be mid, or we're going to see the SK Lesh lane, and possibly the bottom lane, and a mid hero picked up. So, at this point, I don't think CLG is quite as flexible as they could have been. They really need to get, I think, one support hero or a mid hero. I'm not sure what Mouse is going to do in response to this, and we see that they are taking their time. Axe is not a common pickup. He's been actually seeing more play in the NA and EU scenes, but still, it's not something that most teams have to contend against a lot. He gives such a strong lane presence early with that battle hunger. You want to make sure that your lanes can deal with it, and that oftentimes means having a nuke. And none of these heroes that we see can really deal with Axe. They can be forced from lane extremely easily.
This is true, and also one of the things you need is, of course, like you said, the nuke, but also just hard disables, and right now they don't really have too much to go for that. They decided to go for the Invoker, a hero that we don't see banned too often, but still see pick from time to time, has sort of faded out in terms of popularity. But Invoker going to give them extremely strong laning presence, going to give him solid mid-game if he gets enough experience. But you might have some trouble in the early game, but hey, we have Chen, we have Brumer to split push a bunch of lanes, so Invoker should have a relatively safe time in terms of farming out, getting a lot of experience. And of course, Invoker with that long range tornado can disrupt the initiation coming in from the Axe and stanking, as we do see a Windrunner being picked up for the final pick, and we might see a Misery Windrunner, we might see a Lacoste Windrunner, but hey, Misery Windrunner were known for hitting those shackle shots like a beast, but Mouse has to think about what they have to go for with the last pick. They only have 1 second of reserve time, and they have to think very, very quickly. Will we see a bit more of a late game? Will we see another laning support? I think they are set in terms of supports, so maybe we'll see a mid game hero, or
we're gonna see a Sing Sing hero, I think, or Black perhaps. But somebody's got to lane with that Shadow Demon. Kunkka still is in the pool. I think that they're gonna pick Kunkka. Also available Well, you can't really have a Leshrac followed up, and there we go, the Mirana. The disruption into arrow combo is so lethal, especially when you have that curse on top of it. I think that we'll have Black play the Mirana, I guess. Either way, let's see how it plays out.
Yep, as the heroes and the teams are being picked up. And just to sort of give you some background information, I said Mouz has not been, as successful as CLG, but they have lost to very good teams. They've lost to Navi, they lost to MTW, they lost to Quantic, and keep in mind, Quantic did beat CLG as well. So both of these teams are looking very, very sharp, as CLG is shaping up to get into shape for the International 2. And of course, Mouz Sports being invited as a backup team. Hey, if some team doesn't get a visa or if all the 5 players don't show up, Mouz will be there. So both teams taking this extremely seriously. And these teams do have sort of a rivalry going on. In the early stages of Dota 2, in the Pro Dota 2 Brawl, these two teams fought against each other a lot, Mouz and CLG. So these two teams have a pretty big rivalry, at least as far as I can tell.
Absolutely, and you want to introduce the players?
Sure, for CLG, we have PyCat playing the Axe. Looks like Aki is playing the Leshrac. Miracle is going to be playing the Sand King. Lacoste is going to be playing that Nature's Prophet. And Misery going to be playing the Windrunner solo mid position. So expect to see shackle shots all over the place. Meanwhile, want to go over Mouz?
Absolutely. We have 1437 on his trademark Shadow Demon. Looks like we're going to have Come With Me playing the Chen. Sing Sing on the Potom, Black on Invoker, which is kind of a trade-up, and Bambo on his trademark Broodmother. And it looks like they're going for an engage at level 1. We'll see how this plays out.
And of course, Leshrac does have Split Earth. He doesn't have Diabolic Edict to do a huge amount of damage, but looks like 1437 approaching. Looks like CLG do not want to take the bait. They do not want to go with the team fight, noticing that, okay, Lacoste is already in his lane and would be outnumbered right off the bat. So it looks like these teams are just going to play it safe, playing a game of chicken back and forth. But it looks like Come With Me might be sticking in this top lane for now, as Broodmother might be soloing the bottom lane against Lacoste. We'll see how the lanes shape up, but let's just look at Axe's item build really quick. Does it show to be a jungle build? No, he has a Gauntlet of Strength and a Tango's in a south, so I don't know if this is a typical jungle Axe build, at least in the European scene, and I'm not going to pretend that I know typical jungle Axe builds.
Usually what people do is start with those items, but with a Ring of Protection instead, not the Gauntlets of Strength. And you see people going for fast Tranquil Boots, which helps them through the jungle and helps it speed it up. But the Gauntlet of Strength maybe suggests that he's going for an Urn, which isn't as common. We'll see.
Yeah, Axe is going to stick around the jungle. Meanwhile, Chen warding off some of the creep camps, so it looks like he's going to be defensively jungling. As they're going to see Bambo already pulling the creep wave. No, Lacoste pulling the creep wave with his treants. As looks like Chen has his creep camp blocked, so he's not going to be able to get to the lanes very quickly. So just judging by the lanes right now, who do you think has the advantage?
I would say that CLG has an advantage. I think the Windrunner versus Invoker is going to slightly go in Invoker's favor. Bambo should be able to outlane Lacoste, but the big advantage is going to be on the top lane. I think the SK Lesh with the X in the jungle, and this is where most of the heroes on the map are concentrated, is going to beat that combo. Of course, we can see individual pickoffs from the Shadow Demon Potom, but I think that top lane for CLG just has so much more killing power, and I think that they should win this lane.
Yep, looks like Miracle is going to receive a lot of the farm, atypical for Miracle, who usually plays a support. But hey, a farm Sand King does work wonders. That early Epicenter can just break a game wide open in terms of your team. Meanwhile, Black leveling up Exhort, already has some levels into that Exhort build, level 3, so he's going to get that Sunstrike up early on. Meanwhile, Misery, he's going to have a difficult time in terms of lasting the Invoker, but still he should be a-okay in terms of surviving lane, just has to dodge Sunstrikes where it comes. So a lot of the focus will be on the bottom lane, and right now we see Bambo doing a really, really nice job just harassing Lacoste right out of the lane. And Lacoste is going to be in a bit of trouble down here. He cannot afford to let Bambo free farm it up.
No, no one wants to let Bambo free farm on his Broodmother. You will pay for it later in the game, and you'll pay for it early with towers going down. But in the mid lane, I want to talk about the Exhort Invoker choice as opposed to a QW choice. What this is going to do is help them in their top lanes, because they know that Furion can port in and make it at any time of 4v3. What they can do, however, is when Shadow Demon disrupts something, the Sunstrike comes in, and they can possibly melt someone instantly, and that's their only way of winning this lane. And if they win top lane with the Exhort help, they'll be able to win the game, I think. Or at least go into mid-game with a huge advantage.
That can definitely be the case, as looks like more maneuvering in the mid lane, but we see Misery just being harassed a lot by Black, really having a difficult time, but Misery has picked up the bottle. Meanwhile, it looks like there might be an engagement on top lane, Disruption being casted, Miracle is trapped, but here comes Lacoste with the haste rune, going to be casted. Looks like Lacoste picks up the first blood on the shouting. He's going to go on the offensive. Come with me, manages to kill Miracle in the meantime with the help of that creep, and looks like Lacoste is going to be forced to retreat, but still, first blood being picked up by Lacoste. Here comes a Sunstrike, but just barely whiffs. But right now, Bambo is just going to be content to farm up, as we're going to see a teleport in. Axe is going to fight Bambo on the bottom lane. And Axe versus Broodmother, we don't really see this matchup, but Axe should have a reasonably okay time. He's level 3, so looks like he's picked up a level of stats, or might just be holding on to a skill point. Pretty odd.
I can tell you that this matchup is actually heavily in Axe's favor. You wouldn't think it is until you actually do it yourself. But there's nothing that Broodmother can do against this, especially if Axe is calling when he thinks that Broodmother is going to hit the creeps. So if he stays down here, I really like this choice, but I think he's going to rotate back up top. I'm not entirely sure. They might let Prophet jungle now, simply because it'll help their lanes more. I don't know.
Looks like Pycat has no intention of leading this lane, as he's picked up more points of the Battle Hunger. He's going to be disrupting. Of course, Bambo can just easily kill that Battle Hunger with the help of his Soul Ring and his Spawn Spotterlings, but still a bit of harassment and giving Axe a bit of bonus moves at speed. But right now, you can see Axe just having his way in the lane. So, Sexy Bambo, after having a bit of an easy time versus Lacoste, is going to have a bit more trouble in the form of Pycat. But meanwhile, Black Invoker, level 5, meanwhile Misery, level 4, and Black is doing a nice job in terms of landing. He casts Sunstrike and the Cold Snap. Looks like Misery's going to be allowed to show one more hit. Here comes a Cur. Will he die? Looks like Misery just... Oh, he popped the Windrunner, but still died to the last hit. Pretty odd, but I guess that's how the cookie crumbles.
And not too sure about that, but either way, it's a great play. When you see an Invoker open with the Sunstrike and then Cold Snap, that's the mark of a good Invoker, because they're so confident that the Sunstrike's going to hit, that it's really the better way to combo off damage, because you're not going to dodge it as easily. I can say that I haven't seen Black play Invoker as much. Usually that's Sing Sing's hero, but so far from what I've seen, I'm pretty impressed. So I guess it's just this way. Black can take it, and Sing Sing maybe has a better bottom. I'm not sure, but either way, Black's Invoker should be respected.
And yeah, if this lane sort of keeps going, or if this game keeps going the way it is, sort of teams playing very back and forth, keep in mind CLG has a lot of split push, but right now, Sing Sing getting relative free farm on this top lane ever since Axe is abandoned. Meanwhile, Sand and Leshrac are forced to stay defensive. This Chen is just proving to be such a nuisance, as we do see a pause by 1437, but Chen is proceeding to be such a nuisance in this very offensive tri-lane capacity. So right now, Mouse Sing Sing is farming up A-OK, as you're going to check out the last hits and denies. 26 and 11 up on Sing Sing. He's farming like a beast, and we can see Mouse have the top 3 heroes in terms of last hits and denies, and they are up by a kill. So CLG not doing too well in terms of the laning phase.
No, I'm impressed with how well Sing Sing is farming. I would think that on the top he wouldn't be farming quite as well, but with the decision to send Axe down against Broodmother, they're basically saying, okay, we're going to concede top lane as much because Prophet can't really help as much as Axe can. And they're saying, we want to shut down Bambo, because they knew that with Furion laning against him, it was essentially free farm for Axe. So we'll see how this affects Sing Sing's play. Perhaps we'll be able to carry harder and just do more in the mid game.
And keep in mind that this is only 5 minutes in the game, but you can see the goal graph already telling a tale that Mouse does have an advantage. Of course, that comes from the fact that they do have an additional kill. But right now, keep in mind that CLG did get the first blood, so the additional kill doesn't really mean too much. And it's just in terms of out-farming, and you cannot underestimate a farmed Mirana in the late game, especially against these heroes who aren't really the best heroes in terms of killing a Mirana, just right off the bat.
Yeah, at this point, well, the way Potom works is she's strong in the mid game, she's fairly strong in the late game. She needs really one more item than most carries and able to carry as hard as most. But with her Leap is actually an excellent carry spell because of how well it lets her position. It lets her get in and out of fights, and it lets her kill people with the increased move speed and increased attack speed. But it looks like we're going to unpause, so it looks like the game's going to be back in action.
Yep, as we see Come With Me just proving to be such a nuisance, constantly harassing Miracle. Come With Me, not really the prototypical Chen player where you say, oh, best Chens, you know, Puppy, Milk, but Come With Me definitely proving that, okay, I'm a very solid Chen player in my own right, as we're going to see Sand King going to be forced to roam, so Miracle not having too good of a time, and meanwhile Aki is left all by his lonesome, only level 2, so this top lane is completely lost. So it's going to be up to Pycat to help beat the Broodmother. Right now, Bambo seems to have the lane back under control but we'll see if some items and some styles can help Axe out in this game, as we see Culling Blade and Battle Hunger just disrupting Broodmother, but Broodmother does get the nice deny off. But right now CLG are having quite a bit of trouble in this early stage of the game, and it's going to be up to some ganks and their team fight, how fast can they get their team fight items up before they start rolling. But once they do get their team fights items up, it'll be hard pressed for Mouse to stop them.
Absolutely, and it looks like we're about to see an assault on this tier 1 tower. They've got the creep in, they're pushing Leshrac off the lane, and I think they're about to start hitting this and deal some serious damage. I don't know if they can kill it, but they can.
Meanwhile, mid lane looks like Missily managed to get a shackle shot as Miracle roamed all the way from the top lane. Lacoste teleported, and they got a kill on Black, which is pretty important. Looks like they're going to do a tower trade, and they're going to trade the top tier 1 tower for the middle, and the middle tier 1 tower looks like it's going to fall faster. Meanwhile, Aki's just going to hold the fort for now. Is going to, let's see if he picks up. No, just goes for Edict. Pretty safe build, but not going to get the lightning for a split push. Not like lightning would help too much in this early stage. But right now, a tower trade, and this is going to give some CLG some nice gold, give their Sand King some farm, give their Windrunner and their Fury a lot of farm and gold, and that'll help them out in terms of the mid game. But right now, looks like Pycat is faring reasonably well. Bembo is out of mana. But right now, that tower trade, I think it might have favored CLG a little bit more, that middle tower being more important in terms of positioning. And of course, getting that gold for your mid game lineup, the earlier the better.
I think it's actually heavily favored CLG. They don't have any carry that needs the safety and protection of the safe lane tower, whereas they're a ganking lineup. So middle tower is the most important tower that you want down if you want to gank. Also, I don't think you mentioned this, but I think you caught it. They killed the courier also. Radiant's courier is now dead.
I did not see that as we see a shackle shot by Misery, but no, the disruption just dodging Miracle's Burrow Strike in the nick of time. 1437 going to be siege upon. Looks like Aki is going to be the next one to fall. Mirana doing a lot of damage, but Miracle just manages to Sandstorm out of the way. Can he Burrow Strike to safety? Yes, he does. And looks like Sing Sing is just going to leap after them. Wrath of Nature doing a bit of damage, and Sing Sing picks up a double kill. Definitely not what you want to have happen, but looks like is there engaged on the bot lane? Broodmother being harassed quite heavily by Pycat, and looks like Pycat has this lane under control. But still, kill trade going in favor of Mouse Sports. Of course, the double kill being picked up by Sing Sing, very, very important. And Miracle being hit down, not really what you want to have happen. As 1437 is approaching Pycat menacingly, Bambo is salving up. Can they get a kill on Axe? That is the question. He does have the Tranquil boost. And here comes the Battle Hunger. Looks like Pycat might be in a lot of trouble. Disruption being casted, Sunstrike being chained. Looks like Sunstrike does not hit. Pycat might just be able to survive just barely because there is no Demonic Bird. Lacoste cancels his TP. Soul Catcher not being enough. Lacoste going to teleport back in, gets the Broodmother in the Sprout. And looks like Bambo might be in a bit of trouble. No, he's just going to invis out and be A-okay. But still devoting a lot of attention to that Axe, not picking up the kill. But still a lot of reinforcements in terms of CLG. So we'll see which team decides to take the advantage, but definitely that courier kill does give CLG a nice bit of advantage, and Black has to be very, very careful of incoming teleport ganks, as it looks like Miracle comes in with the Burrow Strike, Edict, and the Splurth being chained nicely. It looks like Black is not going to be dying very, very quickly. He might be able to pick up Miracle. Misery does pick up the last hit on 1437 on the bottom lane, but looks like Miracle and Black do get out mono. Sand King does get the last hit. The Chen creep not being enough, but still a lot of chaos happening all over the map.
CLG is just able to pressure Mouse so effectively with these 5 strong early game heroes. They all have a very strong presence in ganks. Most of them have disabled. All in all, Mouse is going to be hard pressed to keep up with the ganks coming out from CLG.
And look at how much damage that Battle Hunger is doing. Bambo must be sweating in his boots. Has picked up the treads, will probably rush that BKB. Only keep in mind that Axe's Berserker's Call does go through BKB. Right now, Sing Sing is receiving a lot of free farm on the top lane. Picked up the Dreads and Basilisk. As we can just check out the last hits, 52 CS on Sing Sing, farming really, really nicely. Still, the overall CS is favoring Mouse, but just the ganking path of CLG is something to be feared.
Oh, absolutely. And I told you that Axe versus Broodmother lane, it's no joke.
Definitely not.
Advantage. We're seeing Pycat get up some nice farm. The Urn also suggests that they're going to continue their ganking, and it looks like they're going to pressure bot tower. But a possible engage going on mid. We see a Shackle Shot latches on Come With Me. Miracle, no, the Split Earth is going to hit on Black. We see the Power Strike. Come With Me so low, but Shadow Strike's on it. Oh, looks like Miracle's going to go down also. But Aki's in trouble now. The Sunstrike flying out. It's going to hit, and it looks like this engage is over and is going to go in Mouse's favor.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Moonlight Child, it did Come With Me did break it, and I think he might have been able to survive versus Miracle's right click, but still, overall, that did favor Mouse. Black picking up a hefty amount of experience. Looks like Lacoste is going to teleport out of trouble away from Bambo. But it looks like this middle tower is going to be defended, but keep in mind, Sing Sing is farming all the while. And you do not want to give Mirana, considering she's probably the most powerful late game hero in this game, pretty much free farm.
Yeah, she's already got that ultimate orb up, which is respectable to say the very least.
Oh, gank on the top lane, as looks like
for it.
Edict and Burrow Strike managed to clean up the kill on 1437. But yeah, sorry to interrupt you, man.
Oh, no, I saw it immediately. But anyway, something, we don't see X that much, but his late game potential is extremely serious. Once he gets that Aghanims up, he is a teamfight menace. He runs at people, he taunts them, and once you get the first chop off, the first execute, your entire team moves so much faster, and it seems like a small buff, but it helps out so much in team fights. That Axe is actually a viable late game hero. I wouldn't say he's a carry, but he's nothing to be trifled with.
Yeah, the team fight, if it gets rolling for CLG, it'll be very, very scary to deal with. Keep in mind, imagine if they had a Darkseer, that would be scary. As it looks like the ganking party of CLG, unfortunately Leshrac has been relegated to support duty, as he has Dust not yet level 6, but looks like CLG is starting to roam in. Can they get the initiation off? Uh-oh. Looks like Mouz might be falling for the bait, as here comes the Battle Hunger Disruption on Shadow Demon, but looks like he's going to be the first one to die. Here comes the Burrow Strike and the Edict doing a lot of damage. Axe picks up the kill. I don't think he got the Culling Blade, but still Misery managed to kill Chen in the meantime. So CLG just suffocating Mouz in their base, just saying, okay, Sing Sing, you can farm up, but we'll just kill all your supports over and over and over again, and it's really limiting the map control and the map presence that Mouz has.
Yeah, we see, a lot of times we're seeing just one person from either team farming on this top lane. Right now it's the Cost, before it was Sing Sing, but whoever can utilize this farm on this top lane is going to be able to get a serious gold advantage, I think. But there might be some action. Bambo gets called. There's spinning on him. Oh, but it looks like the arrow is going to disrupt the kill. Nice arrow coming out there from Sing Sing. Lacoste TP's in, but there's going to be no follow-up.
And yeah, Axe just spamming just all over the map right now. And it looks like Mouz is desperately trying to get that level 6 up on the Shadow Demon. Purge will be very, very important in terms of limiting some of the chasing power. But right now you can just see, look at where Mouz is confined to, just a very, very small portion of the map. It's really, really, really difficult to see, as we see some pretty aggressive dart wards, and unfortunately no wards up for Mouse Sports. That might come back to bite them in terms of the next couple of early game engagements. It looks like Mouse does want to get the mid tower push. It looks like Black has level 10, has 2 forward spirits, so he might be able to apply a lot of pressure. Bleh, can't speak.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to pressure mid. I'm not sure if they're going to get it or not, but with the 2 Centaurs coming out from Axe, and yup, we're going to see it defended. Mass TP is coming in from CLG.
Yep, and unfortunately Broodmother does have quite a bit of spiralings, but that bottom tower is still at a little less than half HP. Lacoste is going to be pushing that top lane, and of course can teleport in at any time. So right now, Mouse, they do not have any wards up. How much do you think wards might help? Do you think it's not really necessary?
You absolutely need wards. Against a lineup this aggressive, you need to have wards out, otherwise your supports are just going to get picked off.
Yep, and until then, they're just wasting a lot of time just like staying in the middle next to the tier 2 tower, not getting experience, not getting gold. Shadow Demon does have a ward, but it looks like he was unable to place it. So just the map presence that CLG have is really, really solid, and it might be, we'll just check out the gold really, really quickly, as looks like anybody close to their dagger. No, Miracle is not close to their dagger, neither is Pycat. But still, they have a lot of momentum riding their way. The only thing that might go sour for them is that Bambo has 2,100 gold to his name, and the Mirana has a lot of gold to her bank account as well. 2
things I wanted to point out, which were pretty interesting. 1, Axe is going for a mech. I have legitimately never seen this before in my life. It's very weird, especially when we have Prophet, who's usually the mech carrier. Then
we also have a winner.
Prophet items. He's going for the full quota build, Midas and Scepter. And without a primary carry on CLG, and you want to be able to defend the push that's going to come out from the Chen and Broodmother, I think that's a really smart choice.
Yeah, I mean, you have a Windrunner, you have a Prophet, but it looks like Axe is going to pick up the Mechanism. He doesn't have Arcane Boot, so mana might be a bit of an issue, but he does have the Urn, and he does have Magic Wand, so he'll be okay as long as he just conserves his mana. And Pycat is a very smart player, as it looks like we're going to see a smoke gank by CLG, bypassing no wards being placed by Mouse, as they have some very, very safe wards, not really spying out too much of the vision, and definitely did not see a CLG gank squad smoke up. But looks like Mouse might be in a lot of trouble. Will Black get initiated on? Here comes Miracle, gonna get the Burrow Strike up on Black. channeling the epicenter, and looks like Black is just going to die in an instant. And Mouz is on full retreat. Shackle Shot does not latch, unfortunately for Misery. But still, here comes a teleport in by Lacoste, channeling Come With Me the other direction. But Come With Me was able to escape, but killing Black. Very, very nice victory for CLG. And keep in mind, not much pressure being applied by the Broodmother on that bomb tower. Only Sing Sing is seeming to have any luck in terms of farming. And Sing Sing, it might behoove him to just sort of join the fight soon enough, or otherwise they might lose a lot of map control and their supports will be very, very underleveled.
Absolutely. I think that CLG's path to winning right now is to take some more towers. That's the biggest thing they can do to get that gold advantage up and get those daggers out on those important heroes. Oh, we see an engage on bot lane. Looks like Pycat's gonna go down. Oh, wow! Great disruption from 1437, but he's gonna go down anyway.
Just barely, literally disrupted himself at around 25 HP, and he died. He lived for another half a second before he died to that last effort of the Battle Hunger, but still 1-for-1 engagement, and they wasted a bit of Shadow Demon's time. But let's see if Bamboo can muster up a push on that bottom lane. But still, CLG was unable to bring down that middle tower, and we're going to see the ganking party start to roam up again. No, it looks like Aki and Miracle are just content to farm up for now, and Misery is going to prevent the push on the bottom lane.
And without Mouz being able to take these towers that they need to, I think they're going to be at a serious disadvantage. Their lineup is, a lot of it centered around taking towers with the Chen and Broodmother, and with only one tower down, that's a core part of your strategy isn't working yet.
Despite CLG's tower advantage and kill advantage, yeah, they do have a tower advantage. The gold graph, just keep in mind the value of farm. The gold graph is completely even. 20 minutes in the game almost, and the gold graph is completely even despite there being a kill and a tower lead for CLG. So all is not lost for Mouz. They still have very, very powerful late game, and it's not as dire as we're making out to be. They still have a lot of their towers up, but if Bambo or Sing Sing dies pretty soon, a lot of the momentum could change, and let's see if Mouz can hold the fort. Looks like they're going to lose a bomb tower, so the gold graph will jump up in favor of CLG, but Bambo is just going to scuttle on out of there. Teleport in by Lacoste. Can they get the sprout on? Yes, they do. No dust. Web is on cooldown. No, it's up, and he's going to cast the web, but the epicenter combined with Square is going to be able to clean up the kill on Bambo.
Yeah, and something that I wanted to mention before, I think I got cut off by Engage, was that the reason that the gold graph is even is because Sing Sing has been AFK farming on top lane. No, look, if you look at the last hits, he's so far ahead of anyone else on the other team. But we see the middle tower go down. Oh no, it's denied from CLG, but at least that, hey, map control's map control, right?
That is definitely the case, as we're going to see Lacoste approach Sing Sing menacingly. Sing Sing should be able to pick up the Manta style. Is it on the courier? Will the courier die once again? Can Pycat kill the board? No, looks like the board is going to escape. No, Colony Blade just going to own that board as Bambo is so confused.
Sing Sing getting shackle shotted, power shotted. Big disruption coming up from 1437. I don't know if Sing Sing's gonna make it. He's battle hungered. Is leap up? Yes, it is. Oh, but Misery follows with the Force Staff. We see Lacoste TPing in. Oh, Misery's gonna live. Sunstrike hits nothing, and Sing Sing's gonna be the only casualty for that. So CLG coming out way on top. Another courier kill. That's like what, 2k gold?
It's around like, yeah, it's almost approaching 2k gold. That's pretty ridiculous. Nice recognition by Axe for realizing, hey, Colony Blade ultimates do work on couriers, so courier very, very easy to die. I honestly have not watched too much of Dota 1 to see if that's the appropriate mechanic, but still, you know, we saw the infamous ZSMJ Rorik courier kill by Papa Zhang on his relic, and ZSMJ farming it up, but still, Axe, the noticeable courier killer. It's gonna be... Clearly, Mouz is a little bit befuddled, and the only saving grace from that is that Sing Sing managed to get his Manta style, so I guess he'll have that item for the next engagement.
The thing is, okay, so Manta style is going to help for split pushing, which is what Sing Sing's been doing, but it's not going to help at all in team fights. With Axe being able to spin and all the AoE from CLG, it's going to do extremely little in team fights. It's more of a pushing item than a damage item at this point, I think.
And right now you can see Lacoste rapidly catching up in terms of farm, and we just see Black just being eliminated a lot in terms of his own farm. He's died quite a bit, and unfortunately, looks like the Exhort build is not panning up. He is level 12, he has the 4 step, and looks like he has 2.7k almost saved up, so he might just go for a straight Hex, might go for drums, but rather, he looks like he's saving up for that Mystic Staff, because he already has the 4 staff. But Black not having as big as an impact as he probably hoped, but still, Lacoste farming up rapidly. Sing Sing going to be farming up as well on that top lane. And CLG are just really content to let Sing Sing farm it up.
Yeah, I think that they feel happy. They feel confident in Sing Sing. With their tier 2 towers still up, and actually their tier 1 on the top lane, they're holding onto their towers fairly well. They've defended all their towers. So I think that their main plan at this point is to turtle up with Sing Sing and engage in split pushing.
Yeah, but if they do take a team fight, Miracle will be there for the epicenter because he does have the Blink Dagger finished up. Looks like Chen picked up a mechanism, but Kamuthu is going to get initiated on with the help of that Blink Dagger. Shackle Shot going to latch. Nicely done. Looks like Kamuthu is going to take the fall. Is there anybody to reinforce? He pops the mechanism, but Lacoste manages to pick up the last hit. Lacoste does have the Aghanim Scepter, and he's just saw how much damage that Wrath of Nature did. That cannot be underestimated in a team fight.
It looks like we're going to see a Roshan attempt coming out from CLG with Chen down and with pretty much most of the map controlled. This should be a free Roshan. There shouldn't even be any resistance at all. We'll see if we see any attempts at stealing it, but for the most part, I think they're just going to let him take it.
And should Axe pick up a Blink Dagger, he has a lot of gold saved up. He only needs about 150 gold before he picks up the Blink Dagger. And then I think CLG might just go in for some pushing, as looks like Sing Sing, unfortunately, only with the Mana Style, is still not doing nearly enough damage to that tower. Looks like Axe is going to harass Sing Sing back away. Disruption being casted. Can they get the arrow to follow up? Sing Sing not able to get the Starfall, but here comes the Demonic Purge, and Soul Catcher just doing so much work, but Pycat is so tanked with that mechanism. Mechanism Axe proving to be very, very effective. But looks like Pycat is going to take the fall. One more hit as Sing Sing does manage to get the kill. But still, Roshan hasn't died, and I think Misery getting in position does pick up the Aegis, has the Force Staff. Misery has 1900 gold to his own name, and Miracle is going to defend. But still, Mouz has to be, they didn't really have the team fight to take the Roshan. They still picked up a kill on Pycat and got the tier 2 tower. I think they're pretty satisfied in that small exchange.
It's the best trade you could have gotten in that situation, hands down.
That's definitely the case. As we see the gold graph, still 750 gold for the Dire. Very, very small gold graph, but there's a game like this is a perfect game where gold graph doesn't really mean too much. And it's not going to mean too much until Sing Sing gets really, really farmed and he just starts pumping out insane amounts of damage where, the gold graph will make a huge difference. And it's a good job by Mouz staying in there, farming it up, knowing that, okay, we don't have the map control, we don't have the team fight, but hey, we have Sing Sing free farming it up, and if we get him his farm, he should be able to do a lot of damage in the late stages of the game. But we'll come down to that.
Yeah, I agree. But I think that the next team fight that breaks out, if a big 5v5 team fight breaks out, that's going to be the most important thing in this game so far, because whoever wins that is just going to take all the enemy's towers. And something that I think is going to be really important for that team fight is the fact that Axe's call goes through BKB, and Bambo did elect to get a BKB first. We don't normally see this being that
beautiful
Shackle
shot!
On Bambo. Miracle follows up, there's a dust, Pycat goes in, he's called, it looks like, yup, and there's his head getting chopped off.
Good day to you,
I think you're going to pressure
mother.
bot tower with this.
It would be pretty cool if Axe had good day, madam, in one of his lines, rather than good day, sir. But
I
still...
said good day, madam. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh, well.
Whatever. We can message Valve. Get on that, Valve. I mean, you've done all this other voice working. You can afford to put in good day, madam. But right now, you saw Misery just getting perfect position with that haste rune and the shackle shot, latching on nicely, and the follow-up initiation. And right now, looks like Pycat managed to get the Force Staff rather than going for the Blink Dagger, going to give his team a little bit more utility in terms of helping them out versus the Broodmother. But still, Blink Dagger Axe, of course, is pretty much a standard build, but there's going to be a teleport in by Miracle. Can they defend the mid tower? They're reinforcing it. No, looks like they're going to elect to give it up. No, here comes the teleport in. Miracle channeling the epicenter, doing a huge amount of damage. 1437 manages to disrupt himself at the last instant. Kamuthu might be the first one to die. Midnight Shadow being casted. Can they pick up the tower? Looks like 1437 is going to be able to escape just barely. Will the tower be denied? No, the Lava Sponge managed to clean up the tower. And that's going to end that. So just a Chen for a tower. Nice trade for Mouz, but still, they have to be a little bit worried about
the unexpected
1437
just ran by a Sentry Ward and the Invis wore off. Looks like he's going to suicide to Ancient. Very good play by 1437. I'm always so impressed with his Shadow Demon. His disrupts are perfect. His positioning is perfect. I think he's the best player playing that hero right now. And I wanted to make a quick point about Axe's Force Staff. Because he got mech, I think he needed some sort of mana pool, and he didn't have the mana boots, so I think that might be also part of the reason why he elected to go for the Force Staff for the plus 10 int.
Yeah, Kong Blade is a pretty extensive spell in terms of Axe's mana pool, Battle Hunger, and that Force Staff will help him out in terms of getting mana. And of course, Blink Dagger does cost mana itself, so Axe definitely needed that for a mana regen. I think you are right in that count. But yeah, we saw a bit of engage on the bottom lane. Bambo was able to was unable to pick off any heroes, but looks like Prophet gonna be approaching that Hex very, very rapidly. Almost has 2.2k gold saved up, and already has the Ultimate Orb to his name. So, we'll see, can Sing Sing get in these teamfights? Will CLG even take teamfights? Or what can Sing Sing do? He's gonna pick up the BKB himself. Is this the right choice by Mirana?
I'm not sure. The BKB is obviously there as a teamfight issue because he can't get locked down by the immense amount of stuns that CLG has. But like I said, call goes through BKB. And if Axe is able to get in the face of Broodmother and get in Sing Sing's face, the BKBs are going to do nothing. They're going to be like they don't even exist. So a lot of this is going to come down to Pycat's individual play, if that's the right item or not.
Yeah, 8 to 17, CLG doubling up, but really not too much in terms of kills, at least, you know, coming from a Dota 1 background. But still, remember the old days where Melk was the first one to use Axe? I don't know if you watched competitive Dota 1, but Melk was the first one to use Axe, and used it solely as an anti-BKB hero. And definitely, BKB is not really too strong an item versus Axe, just because he has a 3-second disable that goes through BKB himself. So, you know, it looks like it might be making a bit of a comeback. But meanwhile, Lacoste's going to be, I mean, considering, you know, the multiple amount of hexes being picked up as Come With These going to get initiated on in the bottom lane. Epicenter cast a Hand of God, but looks like it was all for naught, as his creeps are going to die to the Axe.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, and back in the day, Battle Hunger was completely different, so Axe didn't even have that lane presence, and he was still a good anti-BKB hero. I think that we might actually see more Axe. We've been seeing him, chops off a creep for the movement speed buff just so he can kill more of them, but some nice micro from Come With Me is going to prevent them from killing the rest, it looks like.
Meanwhile, it looks like CLG making a little bit of their presence known on the mid lane, and you can just see the ward presence by both teams. I mean, CLG, they don't even have wards up, but they don't really need to. I mean, only lane that's really in danger of being pushed is that top lane. Furion can just say lol to that. But just look at how much vision Mouz has. They have nothing. They must be so scared most of the time. They only have Broodmother webs, they have Broodmother, but still the map control that they have is nearly non-existent. The only sort of map presence they do have is on that top lane. And of course they can't venture there because Broodmother might get ganked. You know, the mid tower will fall. And CLG are just looking in tip-top shape as Axe picks up a plate mail, and he's going to get very, very tanky. Might go for a Shiva's guard, might go for an AC, probably a Shiva's, just to get him in position, get that nice attack speed slow, and of course that nuke cannot be underestimated. But right now CLG are looking in great condition.
Yeah, and with 24 armor up, and not even counting the armor you get from Call, he's going to be so hard to kill. The only real magical damage that Mouz has got is from Invoker, and he hasn't been that much of a factor in teamfights, so Pycat's going to be extremely hard to kill.
Yeah, and Sing Sing did skip that damage item, and Mirana, like you said earlier, does need one more additional damage item than most carries, just because she doesn't have any steroid spells to her name, and because she did go for that BKB as she's just sort of walking back and forth in that top jungle, not really doing anything interesting. But one shining hope for Mouz is Shining Star. Mouse Black has the Hex, so it's going to eliminate some of the disable, and nobody on CLG, at least as far as I can tell, has a BKB to their own name. But CLG are picking up a lot of hexes themselves.
Yeah, we got the hexes out on Prophet now. I'm not sure if you mentioned that. Your audio went down for a little. We see Hex is probably going to be out pretty soon on Misery. He's got the ultimate orb and 2.4k. And I think that's going to be it. I don't think the Leshrac is going to get one anytime soon. But again, just such a huge factor in teamfights, those hexes. There's a reason why it's one of the most expensive items in the game.
Definitely, definitely. As looks like both teams migrating to the towers that they want to pick up the top tier 1 tower for CLG and the bottom tier 1 tower for Mouz. But only Broodmother is pressuring the lane. Meanwhile, Chen and 1437 are relegated to the jungle support, protecting Bambo. Has 1437 picked up any items? No, just warding it up. But still, like you said, his disruptions have been instrumental in keeping a lot of his teammates alive. But it looks like this top tier 1 tower will fall, despite the best defense of Sing Sing, unless there's going to be a massive amount of teleports in. But I don't think Mouz can take the team fight. I think
that's unlikely, yeah.
Yeah, they can't take the team fight.
I was actually surprised that this tower lasted 30 minutes. All they needed to do was send a Leshrac and Furion at it, and it's going to go down, and it's just going to melt the Edict. We'll see if they continue. I think they will. They have 4 heroes in position, and they have a Furion who can be there anytime he wants. But it looks like they're maybe going for mid lane. We'll see.
Well, there was a little bit of a bottom push, a lot of spiders, but Wrath of Nature combined with Power Shot cleaned up a lot of that. Looks like Lacoste manages to get the initiation off on Come3, who is hexed, and Come3 is going to try to teleport out. Here comes a Burrow Strike by Miracle, nicely done. Going to be able to kill Come3 once again, not having too good of a time, but meanwhile an engaging on the top lane, as looks like Sig manages to clean up the kill with the help of Black's Sheepstick. And they kill Leshrac, so 1-for-1 in that exchange, but still any kill that Sig can pick up is definitely a huge factor for them. So overall, that trade might have slightly favored Mouz, but still pretty difficult to tell.
I think it heavily favored Mouz because Leshrac is extremely close to his BKB. He's only 600 away, and if he hadn't gone down there, he would have had his BKB up in another minute or two. So just slowing down that BKB for another 2 or 3 minutes is going to let them hold on to their tier 2 towers for just a little bit longer.
Meanwhile, we're starting to see the chokehold being applied by CLG. The gold graph is starting to slowly dip, only around a 3k gold advantage, which is still nothing to write home about. But the gold graph is starting to dip slowly and steadily in favor of CLG. Looks like they want to take the next Roshan, give the Aegis to Misery should he choose to get it. But Pycat gonna pick up a teleport scroll. I thought he might have finished his Shivas, but still a little bit farther away than I expected. Miracle gonna go for that BKB. Aki, like you said, almost close to his BKB before that death, but still is quite close. Cost might be saving up for buyback. Does he have any items in stash? No, he does not. Any items on the courier? Not as far as I can tell. So we'll see what Cost decides to go for. If he is the primary DPS, he might start going for some damage. But still, I mean, CLG.
We very well may see a Silent Stick simply because that's a combination of the damage, which is great on Furion, and it's also going to be instrumental in silencing Invoker if they choose to do that. Of course, we might see something like an MKB, Crit Stick, even a Desolator, maybe even a Mjolnir, but right now I have no idea what he's going to go for.
Orchid is the item picked up by Bambo, and I guess he realized, okay, nobody on CLG is picking up BKB, so the silence will go through. Nobody has a Manta, but still, can Bambo get into position to get that soul gank, as looks like 1437 going to be lateral, gets into self-disruption. Sig is Hex, looks like they're going to pick up Miracle, he's going to be the first one to fall, as Sig going to be able to clean up Miracle. Shackle Shot not latching on the appropriate target, as Lacoste manages to barely escape with his life. Nice counter ganking by Mouse Sports as Misery is forced to retreat, and meanwhile, it looks like Pycat going to be cleaning up the bottom lane, but here comes Mouse. They want to get the top. Barracks as Bembo teleported back from his lane. I don't know if they can get the top barracks though.
I'm not really sure what they're doing up top. I would be amazed if they were able to get top barracks right now. See, Pycat just farming away on the bot lane. I think that Mouse might be wasting their time right now.
Well, maybe they know CLG wanted that Roshan, but still CLG does have Fear, and Sand King does have his Epicenter should he choose to use it. And does CLG have buyback? Yes, they have buyback on the Nature's Prophet, they have buyback on the Axe, should he choose to save for the buyback, which he probably will. And looks like CLG are just going to pick up this Aegis as Mouse is just going to waste a lot more time and just back up. No, they decided to smoke up. Does CLG suspect they have a ward? But unfortunately, they are smoked up, so will CLG notice? Yes, looks like CLG sensed something was up, and they're just going to back out.
Yeah, I don't know if you mentioned it, but we got a Hex up on Windrunner now. This is going to be massively influential in the upcoming fights.
Meanwhile, keep in mind, Fear, now that Bembo has retreated from his safe haven on the bottom lane, well, not really a safe haven, but still, Fearon will be pushing all the while with his Wrath of Nature, with his trees, and has a teleport to just get back in and out of the fight should he choose fit. But as we're going to see him teleport to that top lane, as we're going to see Mouse just retreat back to their laning assignment. Sing Sing going to farm the bottom lane. What's he going to go for? He has almost 4k gold saved up, so it's anybody's guess what he's going to go for. What do you think Sing Sing should go for here?
I honestly think that they need a source of damage. I think that right now CLG just deals a lot more damage in teamfights than them. I think that Sing Sing needs to go for a heavy damage item. I don't even think Butterfly is going to cut it. I'm talking about Daedalus, I'm talking about MKB. I think he needs pure damage at this point.
Yep, keep in mind with the Daedalus, your illusions do get the crit, albeit they don't get the bonus damage. As CLG take a moment with the lapse of map control that Mouse had, just going to take down Roshan. Here comes Lacoste with the teleport in. We'll see picks of the Aegis, most likely Misery, since he doesn't have buyback gold, and just bought that Hex, as Roshan is going to be one unhappy golem. Can Mouse get the Roshan Jack off? They're moving into position. Shadow Poison, unfortunately, not being able to scout out. Here comes the arrow. It whiffs completely. Bembo, can he get the last hit with the Spawn Spiderlings? Looks like Bembo might get initiated on. Here comes the dust as Pycat blinks in, or Force Staffs in with the Shiva's Guard, and looks like Pycat managed to cut off Broodmother's head, or one of their many eyes, as here comes Sing Sing doing a huge amount of damage. Aki just so tank at this moment with the BKB. Aki does take the fall, but Leshrac is unfortunately is forced back up because his BKB was going to be cooling down. Shackle Shot channeling. Here comes the Epicenter. Leap already on cooldown. Sing Sing is going to be the next one to fall. CLG looking in prime position to take this game as they have just everything going their way.
3 for a support and Aegis. It's no joke. CLG just took complete control of that team fight. It looks like they're going to get either the racks off of this or at least a tier 3 tower, I think.
You know, in terms of scramble team fights, I thought Mouz would have been, you know, fine, because a lot of the CLG team fight relies on clumped up space. Axe, of course, Berserker's call very, very short AoE. Sand King, you want to be as close as possible. But still, Broodmother was caught out of position right near these Roshan trees, Force Staff by Axe, and nicely identified by Pycat, managed to clean up the kill on Broodmother before she could do anything. And meanwhile, it looks like Invoker, unfortunately, not able to do enough with her, or with his pretty low farm. Has the Aghanim Scepter, but still not able to do too much. Only level 17. Just picked up that Invoke, so CLG managed to take that team fight quite convincingly as Misery is going to get Hex. Can they get the initiation off? Here comes a Meteor, but Force Staff by Pycat, showing the versatility of that item.
Looks like they'll be able to defend this Rax. I just wanted to touch on something you were saying, though, about the clumping of Mouz. Mouz is a great team. They're not going to clump. However, almost all of CLG's heroes have a huge influence range of influence. Axe has that mobility into call. Furin can be anywhere and start with a Hex. Windrunner has the Force Staff into her Shackle Shot, which is a huge range, and SK can blink into stun. Either way, each one of those heroes is able to control a huge area around themselves. And if Mouz spreads out a lot, like they have to, what CLG is able to do is blink on a hero or Force Staff onto them and just pick off that hero instantly. And that's why they've been winning fights. They've been fighting them all 4v5 because if Mouz spreads out, somebody's going to get picked off. And it doesn't matter if you're a pro team, like everybody on Mouz knows how to not get picked off, but when you have to not clump up, CLG knows how to just pick apart at those lone heroes that are off to the side.
And this is the mark of a top-tier team like CLG. And we definitely see, you know, Axe, we don't see him very often, but in terms of, okay, teams, they know how to not clump up, but in terms of scattered team fights, I don't think there's many heroes better than Axe who can isolate a hero, pick him off very, very quickly, and then give his teammate an immense amount of bonus move speed, manage to transition to their next target. So just Axe receiving a lot of attention and just proving to be quite a nuisance, and he's definitely giving his team a big edge in these team fights.
Absolutely. I wonder what item he's going to go for next. I would like to see an Aghanim Scepter. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't want to go for that, but I think if they got that Aghanim Scepter, if you chop off one person's head, move to the next, chop off his head, and just keep going,
rolling.
get that execution train up.
It'll be like Game of Thrones, man. Just heads rolling left and right. As Lacoste has 6.4k gold to his name. What will he go for? Maybe just straight up rapier. He has enough to buy his item and have buyback. So Lacoste faring nicely. And right now you can just see Mouz just completely isolating their base. Sing Sing managed to pick up the MKB. It's being shipped up to his way. So will that be able to do enough damage? Leshrac managed to survive quite a long time without, despite Sing Sing's immense amount of focus fire. But that MKB will certainly help matters. So Sing Sing is going to become a damaging presence, but one person can't do it by himself.
Not at all. Right now, him and Invoker are really the only sources of DPS. Curse is nice. It's going to come out from 1437. Bambo has the Silent Stick, which is also going to amplify another target's damage. But really, they can kill one hero, and maybe Invoker can help them kill two, and then they have no follow-up. What else do they do?
That's definitely true. As we see, Lacoste pick up the BKB, so he's going to... Nothing besides Demonic Purge goes through BKB on the side of Mouz, but, you know, it won't help against Mirana's damage, but still, Freon's been doing a nice job in terms of staying in the background. So, of course, he does have enough money to buy back and get back in the team fight, should he choose to do so. So BKB will prevent a lot of the hexes, will prevent the Orchid by the Broodmother. So BKB, a relatively smart pickup. Of course, when you see a person save up 6.5k gold, you want him to go for something big, but Lacoste going for the safe option.
I guess BKB is the safest item, probably the smartest too, but everybody wants to see those red numbers coming out from Furion.
Definitely, definitely. As they're going to see Mouz finally try to migrate to that bottom lane, finally kill that stubborn tier 1 tower on that bottom lane, just proving to be ever so annoying. And looks like CLG, they're fine with letting that tower die. They're going to try to kill the top the top tier 2 tower instead, as Mouz looks like they're a bit unsure. They're going to continue on and try to kill that bottom tier 2 tower, but CLG is going to be pushing back, and here comes Misery with the teleport in, as CLG are going to reinforce this, as looks like Glyphshock are going to be pushing tower all the while, and CLG, they're going to get the defense off with the Glyph.
Oh, yeah, I think it's very important for them to defend this last tower, as it's their way to TP into Roshan. Oh, we see a Hex going down. Bambo's, the Shackle Shot's going to miss on him. The tower's going to go. Oh no, Pycat goes in. 1437 disrupts call. Meteor Blast coming up, but Force Staff's going to push them away. And Sing Sing's caught in the middle. Lacoste, BKB goes off. He's purged. And with the Ice Wall's coming up, Hand of God, there's so much stuff going on. Looks like Come With Me is going to go down. Axe dealing so much damage. Windrunner's wicked sick. Miracle's getting BKB done by Bambo. Black Alacrity's himself. He's fighting it out with Misery. Disruption coming out from him. And it looks like Mouz is coming out on top. We see Misery retreating. Bambo's going to attack. Oh, the tornado's not quite long enough, but Sing Sing's going to pick up the final kill. However, she has Aegis. And Invoker's going to go down. Buyback from Leshrac. Misery's back up, and it looks like the tides have turned. Mouz is retreating. I don't know if they're going to pick off any, but wow, that was a chaotic team fight.
That was, and the initial Hex was on a Come With Me Ursa. So, a little bit of a misplay by CLG going into the Nation like that. But we saw the scrambling team fight. Unfortunately, Axe did not Culling Blade at a low enough HP, so he couldn't get that movement speed buff. Otherwise, I think CLG might have won a bit more decisively, but still nice spreading out at Mouz, getting the BKB up, and Brumella made a huge factor. In that last Roshan engagement, we saw Brumella just getting picked off at the beginning, but this engagement, Brumella got to tank a lot of damage, allowed Sing Sing to do a lot, and get that silence and a lot of right clicks off. But unfortunately, Mouz had to retreat. Their towers were in danger in the base. And look how low the middle and the top tier 3 towers are. And now they can't afford, because Furion did not buy back. He still has 4k gold in the bank. So even if they kill the Furion, he can just get back in there. Or sorry, Nature's Prophet, whatever. He can just get back in there, kill the tower, kill the Rex, and Mouz will just be in for a miserable time. But still, nice composure by Mouz, showing that they are by no means out of this game.
Okay, this is cool. Pycat's going for a Sanj. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Heaven's Halberd.
Oh, man.
Pycat is going for the most unusual build I've ever seen, but I really like it. He's going to try to either Halberd Sexy Bambo or Sing Sing, and essentially take them out of the fight for 4 seconds, because they don't do anything else. And it also makes him tankier and gives him evasion. Honestly, I really like this item pickup.
Yeah, it's definitely, I mean, it won't help him against Sing Sing unless he disables him, because of the evasion going to be reduced by the MKB, but still against Bambo, it will have a little bit of reduced duration. It's a little bit of a short duration against MKB, as looks like Lacoste might be in for a bit of trouble if Bambo goes for initiation, but I don't think he can kill Lacoste. Lacoste has another 5k gold saved up in the bank, but still, Heaven's Halberd, of course, will reduce a lot of damage and give him some evasion from anybody besides Sing Sing, going to increase his tank ability. And you'd rather get a Heaven's Halberd than something like a Butterfly, anyway. As we're going to see a Smoker to see by CLG, and Winner's picked up a Demon Edge to her name. Did lose an Aegis, but is probably going to go for an MKB herself, realizing, okay, we're starting to need some physical sources of damage, as BKB, Broodmother, and the Mirana, if she's not initiated by the Axe, they're proving to be quite a problem. Oh no, come with me. Oh no.
Oh no, this is gonna be brutal.
Heads will roll. Heads rolled indeed.
Well, he died in about under a second.
It's
gotta feel bad for supports once you reach 40 plus minutes of the game. They just get melted.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, the downfall of Chen is that he has to be in the jungle to get more creeps. But in the jungle, it makes it so much easier for him to die. As here comes Lacoste. They want to get the teleport and the team fight. They have a lot of map control. They have the creepy equilibrium going in their favor besides the mid lane. But one Wrath of Nature can solve that issue. And if they lose this team fight, I'm surprised they're not going on a different lane, because the tower is very, very low HP. But it looks like they realize, okay, if we pick off this tower, the other towers will fall very, very rapidly. But so far, Mouz is going to try to defend it. Invoker has an Aghanim Scepter, like I mentioned earlier. Sing Sing going to get Hex, but the Shackle Shot does not latch. And looks like CLG, they do not want to commit to this fight.
It really is so hard to push into an Invoker and a Shadow Demon. With Shadow Demon spamming out the waves, you can take them down pretty fast. And Invoker has so many spells. He's got the Spirits, he's got the Wall, he's got the Deafening Blast, and he's got the Meteor. He can also even Alacrity himself. Just to slow down the push, and it's so hard to push into him. You really have to pick him off first if you want to try to fight an Invoker on his tier 3.
Just checking out some item progression as Gem being picked up by Misery to catch out the Moonlight Shadow, and to catch out the Broodmother. We saw in a previous game how devastating Moonlight Shadow can be. Looks like Pycat is not close to finishing that Heaven's Halberd just yet. Well, I actually just needs a Talisman Invasion. So yeah, pretty close. My bad. As Sing Sing has 4.3k saved up. Gonna be saving for buyback and one more big damage item. And if Sing Sing gets more damage, he'll be really, really difficult to stop. And
yeah, I think if he gets one more item, then CLG will have no answer for him. Butterfly, I think, could be awesome. Daedalus could also be awesome. And we're almost certainly going to see Black alacritying Sing Sing, just to make him that unstoppable right-click DPS. Also, I wanted to say, check out the last hits on Furion. He's almost at 400. It's almost 10 last hits a minute.
Pretty ridiculous, but that helps on the back of that Aghanim Scepter Wrath of Nature, as he has a Demon Edge himself, so mass MKB slash Daedalus being picked up by CLG. It looks like Furion picks up the cheese, and he also has buyback ult to boot, so Furion will not be dying anytime soon. Aegis being picked up by Misery, and looks like Mouz, they're grouping up in the top lane. They have smoked up. Will they be able to pick anybody off? Looks like Miracle is roaming to that top lane. He does not have buyback, so if Miracle picks off, a lot of their source of damage against supports will die with him, but unfortunately, it looks like Miracle does sense a danger, blinks out, spotted out some of the Mouse Sports heroes. And CLG, they know they have Furion, he can teleport in. They're just going to stay in the base for a little bit and wait for Mouse to retreat.
Yeah, right now it's basically a game of chicken. If you get picked off, you're probably going to, well, somebody who doesn't have buyback at least, you will probably lose a Rax off of it. Because both teams have so much potential to take down Rax so fast at this point in the game, nobody wants to be the first team to make a mistake.
One thing about CLG is that they're not saving up for buyback besides Lacoste. Pycat does not have enough gold for buyback, neither does Aki, neither does Miracle. Misery has the Aegis, but not saving up either. So if they lose this team fight, despite their huge advantage that they had, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Meanwhile, Sing Sing has buyback, Bambo has buyback as well. So CLG, knowing that, okay, we need as many items as we can to combat Sing Sing's immense amount of DPS. So looks like they're going big, or they might just go home, as BKB is the item picked up by Black, and another source of disabling will be much more reduced in terms of targeting Black. You can only really disable Shadow Demon and Shen, and neither of these two targets you really want to focus your disables on.
No, what's been happening in team fights is Shen casts his spells and then he dies, and then it's not relevant. And Shadow Demon casts his spells and then he dies. And again, as long as you get the curse off, the disrupt off, and the purge off, and actually now he's got a medallion, that's all he needs to do. With the BKBs up on the important heroes, they're going to be much more difficult to take down and just deal so much more damage. I think if the supports get picked off, hey, it's not a huge deal.
CLG going to play a bit aggressively, going to push in with a bunch of their heroes. Lacoste bring up the rear, has a finished Daedalus to his name, so now Lacoste will be a huge problem in the side of Mouse Sport. And looks like these crews are bringing to a pretty big annoyance, but they are not nearly as effective as Pycat's going to get initiated on. Here comes a Meteor as Pycat gets Soul Catcher, but still so very tank. Here comes Aki with the Pulse Nova, as Komathi might be the first one to fall. No, Aki being focused by Sing Sing on a killing spree, and Black does take the fall with the help of Calling Blade, and that Moon Speed buff will help CLG in terms of chasing down the opponent. Here comes Lacoste, who's not in that fight, as looks like Sing Sing might be in a lot of trouble. Disruption, nice Holy Persuasion by Komathi, trading 1-for-1, but a buyback by Black, as Aki is going to be left to sit in the fountain for a bit longer. But still, CLG have a lot of momentum, and will they go for the push? No, Axe is almost out of mana, below half HP. Here comes Black, pops the BKB Tornado, as Bambo is going to be a lot of trouble. Calling Blade does not latch on, but Lacoste picks up the last hit. Broodmother buys back, a lot of buybacks being used by Mouse, knowing that this is the time. Aegis is used by the Windrunner as Lacoste pops the cheese. Soul Catcher just doing so much damage. Here comes Miracle with a huge epicenter. Such a chaotic team fight. I have no idea what's going on. Bambo's gonna get right clicked down. Lacoste doing so much work. My god, that Daedalus is just proving to be such a nuisance. Lacoste and Misery pick up another kill on Shoudian, and Mouse is starting to fall apart. Ultra kill being picked up by Lacoste. My god.
And that should be 2 racks and probably the game. Wow, I can't even describe what happened in that team fight. That was a lot of stuff going on back and forth, but
so chaotic.
I think Pycat's calls were just so influential in disrupting the right-click DPS. Now, and it looks like Sing Sing's going to get hexed. Sent back by Come With Me, and I don't think the DPS is going to be there. Nope. Oh, but Come With Me is going to go down to Windrunner, and that's going to be a godlike spree through Misery.
The Tornado inching ever closer to Lacoste, but he teleports out. Still has buyback should he choose to use that, but hey, no need. as 4 heroes are dead from Mouse Sports. Sing Sing is the lone defender. Can he get the arrow? No, it hits a creep, as Lacoste will be able to teleport back into the fight should he choose so. But second Rex is about to fall. Aki comes back into the fight with the Edict. So, man. And this is the power of Axe, ladies and gentlemen. You can have 3 BKBs.
He's no joke late game. He's a very serious hero. I think we're actually going to see him being picked up even more and more as we head towards the International, because I've been seeing teams play around with him and actually find success. So everybody wants to see more Axe. Everybody loves this hero. So it's in everybody's best interest if we see more of him. So
yeah, I mean, he felt so left out at the International 1. The only hero
yeah,
who was not in there, as 1437 managed to kill Misery. Aki's going to be in a bit of trouble. Bambo kills Aki, but still 2 Rex being fallen, and Lacoste going to do a lot of damage. Now it looks like Lacoste is going to get Hex. Might finally die, but he does have the buyback, and he will buy back. But he might not really even need to, as all the Rex are falling from Mouse. They do not have too much of pushing momentum to their name. Looks like Mirana picked up a Reaver, so trying to survive as long as possible. But unfortunately, will not help her push the creep wave any faster. Looks like Mouse going to try to do a lot of pushing mid. No, looks like they know that they can't really do that. They have to defend against a possible Furion buyback teleport in. But
yeah, this looks like the last hurrah coming out from Mouse, but they can't even do that because Furion is just going to take the racks if they do. So
yeah, Lacoste has another 7k gold, so I mean, this guy, he is rolling in money. I need to figure out the hotkey for gold per minute for Furion. Total gold earned by Furion. 30k. Just 30k.
Gold per minute's you. He's sitting at 574, by the way.
574 gold per minute?
Yep.
Total gold earned. 30k.
Oh my god.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Like a Medusa.
Yeah. You know, well, I didn't see often those Chinese games where Medusa would just... I would love to see just Medusa sell her boots and just move in as like a slow, inexorable tank, just going to clean up. But unfortunately, we won't be able to see that until at least a couple more months. But still, just going back to that crucial team fight that might decide the victory. Just to go back to sort of like my huge man crush on Axe. Berserker's Call, canceling BKB like you mentioned, or not really canceling it, but just
going through
it. Disabling, preventing a lot of attack damage and giving Axe a lot of armor, 30 armor to his name when he pops that Berserker's Call. And Culling Blade, in terms of his chaotic team fights, and that was as chaotic a team fight as I've seen in a long time, that movement speed cannot be underestimated. I think he only managed to get... I think he got one off, I think. Yeah, because cooldown is still quite long.
Cooldown's 55 without Aghanim Scepter, and with it it's like 6 or something ridiculous. I don't know exactly, but...
Yeah.
You know how that fight actually started? It was so cool. Come with me, send a Centaur, and he stomped somebody, I forget who. And they were like, whatever, it's just a Centaur, and they were trying to kill it. And then Sing Sing followed it with an arrow. And they chained that stun together perfectly to open with a 5-second arrow, which otherwise wouldn't have been able to hit.
And yeah, just to sort of go back to the craziness of that team fight, Axe's cooldown on that ultimate is 55 seconds, but he cast it twice during that team fight. He didn't get the...
It was a long fight.
Yeah, he didn't get the second Culling Blade, because unfortunately the target wasn't long enough, but he cast it twice. A ridiculously long team fight. But CLG gonna try to go for the last push. Lacoste still has BKB. Shipping up an item. What is it? Well, what you got, Lacoste? Oh, just a Manta style. Gonna give his illusion some credit. As here comes Mouse Sports Epicenter being challenged. It looks like the Miracle not doing nearly enough damage, but 1437 might be the first one to fall. He is gonna be the first one to fall. Pycat managed to pick up the last hit. Pycat is in quite a bit of trouble, but Soul Catcher and Force Staff gonna be able to usher him away. Lacoste is gonna be chased down by Bambo, but Lacoste just doing insane amounts of damage. Bambo does take the fall. Black might be the next one to fall, as Chen does take the dive. Head gets chopped off by the axe. GG, well played by Sing Sing, as what a game played by CLG, and they're showing they struggled a bit in the past month, but they are definitely a team to be feared.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are so strong, some of the strongest teams in Europe, and when you see two like giant teams coming at each other like this and going full force, it really is a treat to watch.
Yeah, that was only game 1 of this defense series. And this is the winners bracket semifinals. We will be bringing you game 2. We will be trying to bring you as many defense matches as possible. And as always, shoutouts to Toby and the Join Dota crew for putting on this tournament, giving us these matches, and shoutouts to Valve for giving us access to the replays for free. So big thanks to Join Dota and to Valve. But yeah, that's it for us. Any last words, Shred Kid?
No, that was just a great game. I don't think anything I could say could make it better.
Yep, and here's the final score screen for all your eyes to marvel, as unfortunately, in a 60-minute long game, no level 3 ultimates being picked up by 1437 and come with me. Come with the ending 110 and 10, 1437 ending 112 and 10, but still Mouse put up a valiant effort, and they looked like they had it in a couple engagements, but unfortunately the split pushing by Fearon just proved to be too much, and nicely done by CLG, but we will be back with game 2 very, very soon, so thank y'all for watching, and have a fantastic day.